All right, guys, I am back, and I'm here to check out the rest of the ruins of Two Guns, as well as the Apache Death Cave. So join along as I look around. So these ruins, I believe, are from the beginning of the last century, and they would have been, I think, thriving around the time Route 66 really got into action. The historic road, Route 66, is just over there before, if you see that UPS semi, it'd be just closer to us. It's parallel to that exit ramp there. You can't really see it, but that's where the historic Route 66 is. And this place would have been bustling. It was a big tourist stop and provider of services for those travelers going along Route 66 back in the day. So now I believe that the Apache Death Cave is somewhere in this vicinity here, in this little tiny little side canyon that goes into the main canyon over there. But I'll take a look and see if I can find it. The Apache Death Cave is the site of a mass murder of, I think, about 50 Apache Indians a long time ago. It's at least like 150 years ago. And the reason these Apache were killed was because the Apache had kidnapped some girls from the Navajo, and they were rival tribes, and the Navajo were trying to look for these kidnapped girls, and they eventually stumbled upon them in a cave in this area. And what the Navajo did was they smoked them out. They set fires near the entrance of the cave to choke the Apache. The Apache wanted to come out because they couldn't breathe, and then they ambushed, murdered all of the Apache. So I think all the remains of like 50 Apache were in there until they were later, I think, sold off. Most of them were sold off by some, Route 66 tourist guy later in the 20th century. But it's a fascinating story, and you'll have to look into it more, and I'll have to look into it more as well. But I think it's 50 Apache, at least, were murdered in this cave that I'm looking for right now. I'll have to get down in here and see if I can find it. It'll be a spooky, spooky place, I'm sure. So I just looked it up, and it was actually in 1878 when the Apache raided a Navajo encampment near the Little Colorado River, which is the river that is not too far away from here, that traverses through the Painted Desert of northeast Arizona. They raided the Navajo encampment and killed everybody in the encampment, all the Navajo, men, women, children, except for the 3 girls that were taken as hostages. And so that was the thing, that was the impetus for why the Navajo went after the Apache here and murdered them in what is now called the Apache Death Cave. So I just made it down into this little box canyon. And by the way, here's a nice little saucepan. Maybe I'll take that on the way out. Unless it's cursed. Anyways, I'm gonna walk down here and see if I can find the opening to the cave. And we'll see what we can see. By the way, that bridge is called the Canyon Diablo Bridge. We're gonna check that out later. All right, a couple things. First thing I have to say is there's definitely a lot of construction here that has been destroyed, not just in this area, but I think all the way up in this box canyon. I've seen a lot of stones that have been intentionally placed in piles that have since been degraded. So this entire area potentially was constructed, inhabited in some way. But now, as I'm looking down here, I'm seeing what could be the starts of a cave. I see lots of old pieces of wood and also stones that have been placed in an intentional way. So even down here could have been part of a man-made structure, but we'll see. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I want to go down in there, but first I'm going to check out this area up here, this structure. This is the other side of that little deep channel that I was just looking into. But this place is really dilapidated. So we were just looking at this little opening from that other side over there. And clearly this was constructed right here. Those stones are stacked. They were stacked by people, and so are these stones up here. So I have found the entrance to the Apache Death Cave. It's down here. There's even some man-made construction inside of it. So it probably would have been a good idea to bring a flashlight, but I did not. So we'll see how far we can go. I guess we're gonna try to be as respectful as we can, knowing that lots of people died in here. Yikes. Could be all sorts of dangerous vermin in here as well. So yes, there are all sorts of vermin in here, as you can tell. But it looks like the cave gets down in this really, really cramped area down here. I don't know if it opens up beyond that. But I'm also not interested in going down there. Like, traversing that on my belly through a bunch of shit, so this is like some sort of metal pipe. Okay, I don't know if I'm convinced. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, like I said, I'm dumb, and that is not the real entrance over there. It really is out here that you can go through, so. Oh geez, let's see. Well, here is the other end of that little cavern, that little space that I just was peering through on the other side there, that I said I wasn't going to crawl down into, looks into. I don't know if it goes any further than this. Look at that limestone. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. God, it's all dusty in here. No, that doesn't go anywhere. This can't just be it, right? There has to be more. I don't know, though. Ow. I just don't know. Maybe there's another entrance. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, I'm going to continue looking for another entrance of the cave. Because, I mean, I haven't seen a cave that can fit 50 people. 50 grown-ass people. So, I'm going to keep wandering around and see if there is another entrance to the cave. Maybe I wasn't even just at the Apache Death Cave. Maybe that was just some other little opening. I don't know. Okay, so this area also doesn't go anywhere. We'll keep looking around to see if we can find a cavern. Of course, here's another possibility. It might actually not be a fully enclosed cave that they were all hiding in. They could have just been under this ledge. And let's say they were in a fully enclosed cave, like the cave that we were just inside. Who's to say that that didn't collapse sometime in the past 150 years? You know, it might not look the same as it did before. Okay, just to recap, we went into that cave over there. That's when it was all dark and dusty with all the poop and stuff. We just explored that little side cavern right there. That's not fully enclosed, but it's under a ledge. Now, we're gonna go down into this little box canyon and see if we can find any other openings to a potential cave. There are so many ruins to explore here, though, on the other side of the canyon, Canyon Diablo, including what looks like Stonehenge almost. It's kind of funny. So this was also a constructed something that has since been destroyed. It's just so hard to say. I feel like the cave that we were in was the best bet for, you know, as far as if a cave were to be someplace, that was the best place for a cave to be. I don't know. Don't these look like steps? Man-made steps? With the sandstone right here? They do. Metal remains. Okay, rather than continue into the valley here next to the wash, I'm gonna get on high ground to hopefully get a better vantage point. So, because I know there are ruins up here, so I'll check those out and maybe that'll give us a better spot to maybe see a different cave. We'll see. Wow, that looks like asphalt, doesn't it? Okay, this is pretty insane. This is like poured asphalt, and go to the end here. There's the Diablo Canyon. Turn around. You can see the maze of ruins that we were just walking underneath, basically. Yeah, I don't see any other good-looking caves in the area that the Apache Death Cave should be in, other than the one over here that we already went inside. So either I overlooked another opening inside that cave that led to a much bigger cavern that could hold 50 Apache men, or the cave has changed since they were last in it, and whether it collapsed or a human tried to, you know, eliminate the cave. It's hard to say. I'll have to do more research though. Again, you might know the real story about this cave, and if you do, please let me know. But if not, I'll just continue trying to figure it out, because it's not exactly clear to me. What I'll do now is I'll get off of this little island here and go explore a different area of Two Guns. There was an old zoo here at one point that was operated by a pretty crazy guy, and we'll check that out. The structure should still say mountain lions on it because he had mountain lions. They ended up, I think, mauling him at one point, but yeah, we'll go check that out. Maybe we'll go in here first though. Now this is just pretty cool. I mean, come on. Right? Cool limestone. Very cool limestone. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hop back in the car and drive down historic Route 66 till I get to the area down there by the bridge, because it's gonna be a mess to try to get through this tangle of barbed wire and canyons, because there's just more side canyons back there that you can't really see. So I'm gonna go back to the car and drive a little further, and we'll see what we can see. Should be good. Somebody had a fire here. There's some cans, and is it a pistachio? Looks like it. All right, gotta get over there. Oh guys, you wouldn't believe it. Guess what I just found on the other side of this ruin? Deep, dark holes. This has gotta be the rest of the Apache Death Cave. Come on, that is so deep, so dark. I mean, there's no way I'm going down there because I don't have a rope or anything like that, but holy cannoli, that is definitely it. So kind of ignore what I was talking about earlier, because the cavern that we were in opened at the other side of this ruin down below on this, in the side of the canyon there. But this, I mean, I'll see how low I can get, but this is the real deal. And I can guarantee you that down in there, oh gosh, you could hide dozens and dozens of men, because it's gonna open up, and it's gonna be a lot more than what we can see right here. That's gotta be it. And you can see how these rocks have collapsed. So one day, I mean, this little cave will probably be hidden forever, but oh my goodness. Yeah, it's definitely way down there. This is it.